for about a year, something like that. I had some kind of difficult experiences, and was a little bit nonchalant about this and that. And I thought to myself, this is this is the real thing. It was clear to me at that point that it was actually the real thing. This really was a gift from God. It was our chance. And as Subi said, it's your only chance. It was our chance to get back to, it was a tremendous good fortune. And I thought to myself, this is not a joke. This is not something that I can just be kind of nonchalant about. I got to take this up completely. I mean, I need to really take it up. Not get overblown and be all serious about it, but I mean to really be full-hearted, commit to it, go for it. Really go for it. Actually go for it. And not look back. Just go for it. That was it. And so I had a little conversation with myself, and I decided, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I did. And, in the process, as I recall, of thinking about these things, I thought to myself, a gift like this, that because Subi said this gift is the same gift that was given to the prophets. These wonderful beings, they were so advanced, they all graduated, as far as I know, from the earth. They succeeded in the school of life, or whatever you want to call it, and got their degree, and are no longer influenced by anything here, which is an amazing notion the more you see about all the things that are here. And as they said, I remember them saying, many are called. Christ said this, I think. Many are called, but few are chosen. I reflected on that, and I thought, wow, you better, you're looking for you want to get on the main team there. You want to get with the program. Better do your homework. Not going to extremes, but just do the work and walk the walk, talk the talk, and walk the walk. So I did. And that made a lot of difference, I guess. Because I just don't know how many of you ever had that conversation with yourself. And I suggest to you that if you haven't had that conversation, really strong head-on, full front, full metal jacket or whatever, that you do that because yeah, I think it's pretty important. Now, another thing that happened to me, which made a really big difference, a huge difference in my Subud experience with the organization, and probably with everything else too, was one day in 1967, I guess I'd been in Subud about 2 years. I was sitting at the Subud house in Silver Lake by myself in one of the little booths up there they had, reading. We had just gotten hot off the press, Bavak's book, or it was a book of his talks in the Tokyo World Congress. It was called The Growth of Subud. And in that book, he said, you should surrender everything to God, everything. And so me being the kind of person I was, I thought about that. I was sitting there, I remember sitting there and kind of pondering that, because the whole idea of surrendering everything to God, is a kind of a thing that you did, it's sort of a mainstream commitment. It was kind of terrifying, and But it made sense. You don't want to be half-hearted. As Muhammad said, the, the problems they were having in Islam at some point, I don't want to misquote him, but it's something like this. He said it was because they were half-hearted and they were heedless. Whereas they weren't paying attention and they weren't full on about it. Makes a big difference if you're full on, if you're fully committed in a marriage, or you're fully committed on a job, if you're fully committed, whatever. It's a big difference between being kind of, yeah, okay, I'll go so far with it. I'm not here to tell you which one is better. You make up your own. That's what he said, and I took that up. That made sense to me. So I took a big, deep breath. Nobody was around, and I said to myself, okay, here we go. I'm going to do this thing. So I did. I surrendered everything. I gave it all up. You think to yourself, am I going to give up my life? Am I going to give up everything? So I did it. I took it up. Now, as I recall, no sooner had I taken it up than I thought to myself, well, yeah, and the thing is, in terms of the Subud organization, I should give that up too. I mean, I should give everything up to God, not thinking to myself, well, yeah, I'm surrendered to God, but I'm a Subud member, and I do things that Subud people do, because, so I realized that I needed to give Subud, the organization, my membership in Subud, up to God as well, to surrender it to God and be, I would be, in other words, what that meant was that I would be a Subud member insofar as I was guided to be a Subud member, and not insofar as I thought this was how I should be as a Subud member and what I should do and everything else. So I gave it up to God, surrendered to Him. And when I did that, it changed everything, because there was a lot of talk at the time about how many Ladihans you should do, and whether you should go in LA or in Los Angeles. We had a lot of different groups, several different groups, not a lot. We had one, I don't remember, there was one in Pomona, there was one in Santa Monica, and later on there was one in Topanga, and there was, the one downtown. And so I did that. I just surrendered it to God. So I wouldn't go to a Ladihan until I was moved to go. And I wouldn't stop in the Ladihan until I was moved to stop. It didn't matter what anybody said, particularly. I didn't pay attention to man. And that's one of the things that after quite a few years in Subud, I was chastised a bit about that, because I was still doing it. Said, pay attention to God, don't pay attention to man. It came to me in an exercise one day with a group in Santa Cruz, very clearly. And I realized the truth of it. The thing is, you have to pay attention. I mean, who are you for? Are you for man? What man thinks about what man thinks? I mean, people have thoughts, and other people think about what they thought, and other people think about what they thought they thought. No, you don't do it. You pay attention to God. So those were hallmarks of my journey through Subud. Through, we're talking about generally. So one of the nice things that happened from that is that I found that in LA that I would following that kind of guidance, that I would go to a Ladihan after it already started, and then I would leave before it ended, or I would leave after, way after, a few minutes after it ended. It was never anything that anybody ever even noticed. I broke a few rules doing that, I suppose. And then I would go here and there. And after I've been doing that for a few weeks, I felt much better. The balance in my own system was way better. I felt much more at ease following that guidance from God. And then when I tallied it up, I found out that actually I had, with all the different places I would go, because I was young, I was in my 20s, and I loved to drive around and do things. But when I tallied it all up, it all came out to about the same as 2 Lottie hands a week. And I felt much better. And I noticed that also as kind of a secret, but I guess I can tell you, I would go to a meeting. I remember one day going to a meeting, and I was watching my guidance and watching what I was actually doing, and I would I got up in the middle of the meeting and walked out. And I had no reason to walk out, and I imagined people might ask me. But whenever I did something like that, and I didn't know what I was doing, and then I would, if occasionally somebody would say, well, so you blah blah, and I would always have an answer. It would come to me and say, well, I'm going to go blah blah. I wouldn't lie. I found it very important not to lie. But I would suddenly realize, oh yeah, because I need to do this. So there was a story there, but I don't think I'll tell you that story. It had to do with a meat camp and some other people. They were also, I found, well, I guess I could tell you, they weren't at the meeting either. The whole place was empty, everybody was at the meeting, but in the kitchen, in the back room, there was a group of guys standing around in a circle. I joined them. It was like very nice there. There was a kind of a, I don't know, you could say a light there. We were all talking, having an interesting time, learning things and stuff. And they had, I guess, were doing the same thing I was. They were following their own guidance. So, no, well, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff already. So maybe I'll make this into more parts. I want this to be successful. I want this communication I'm communicating to you to be of some use. And I'm getting a little tired. It's a fasting night, and this was the 4th day. Yeah. Tomorrow's the 5th day. All right. Well, God bless. Have a good evening.